In 1895, Taiwan was handed over like a coin across a table. The Qing had lost a war. Japan had gained an empire. The Treaty of Shimonoseki made it official. Taiwan would become Japan's first colony. The island had been ruled before by Dutch traders, Chinese dynasties, pirates, and warlords. But this was different. Japan did not come to extract. It came to build. Not for Taiwan's sake, but for its own. And the people of Taiwan would have to choose, resist, adapt, or disappear. Not everyone surrendered. Days after the treaty was signed, a group of Taiwanese elites declared independence. They called it the Republic of Formosa, the first republic in Asia founded by locals. They raised a flag, appointed a president, gathered militias. They hoped the world would recognize them, help them, protect them. But the world did not come. And within months, Japanese forces landed. They met resistance in the streets, in the mountains, and village by village. But Japan's army was modern, disciplined, ruthless. By October, the republic was gone. Its leaders fled. Its flag was lowered. And Taiwan was now part of the Japanese Empire. Then came the engineers, the architects, the doctors. Japan sent more than soldiers. It sent surveyors, planners, bureaucrats with blueprints. They mapped every river, cataloged every forest, counted every household. Then they began to build railways, hospitals, public schools. They drained swamps, paved roads, sanitized cities. The island was changing, faster than it ever had before. To some, it felt like progress. To others, it felt like control. Japan said it was uplifting Taiwan, but every brick laid was stamped with the rising sun. But not everyone welcomed the empire. In the mountains, resistance burned. Indigenous groups who had never bowed to the Qing refused to bow to Tokyo. They ambushed patrols, tore down flags, fought with spears against rifles. The Japanese response was swift and merciless. Entire villages were relocated. Forests razed. Rivers dammed. In 1930, the Musha Uprising shocked the empire. A group of Sadiq warriors rose against impossible odds. They killed Japanese officials, then fought to the death. The empire retaliated with planes, bombs, and poison gas. It was the last major indigenous rebellion. After Musha, the mountains went quiet. But the silence was heavy. But colonization isn't just about land. It's about identity. In the 1930s, Japan launched a new campaign to make the people of Taiwan Japanese. Children were taught to bow to the emperor, to speak Japanese, to forget their own names. Shrines replaced temples. Textbooks erased histories. Ancestral languages were silenced. Some families complied, hoping to rise through the system. Others resisted, quietly, keeping their traditions alive. In kitchens, in songs, in whispered stories before sleep. By 1940, even names were changed. Taiwanese were told to adopt Japanese surnames to show loyalty. Identity was no longer inherited. It was assigned, not with love, but with law. The empire had a vision, and Taiwan was its proving ground. They called it model colonialism. Sugarcane fields stretched for miles. Rice harvests doubled. Factories hummed with machinery. Japan turned Taiwan into a supply hub, feeding its growing empire. Railroads stitched the island together. Postal routes. Telephone lines. Timetables and tariffs. Cities were redesigned, districts reorganized, every corner made legible to Tokyo. But efficiency came with oversight. Police stations multiplied. Informants took notes. Files were kept on every family. Even progress in the colonial ledger was a kind of control. You could ride the train, but only where the empire wanted you to go. When Japan went to war, Taiwan went with it. The island became a launch pad for troops, planes, and ships. Factories were retooled for war. Children were taught to die for the emperor, and Taiwanese boys were conscripted. Some volunteered, seeking opportunity or survival. Others were forced, their names erased from the family registry, their futures swallowed by a war not their own. In the skies, American bombers appeared. Taichung, Tainan, Geelong. Cities once rebuilt, now reduced to rubble. Air raid sirens. Collapsed schools. Shadows on walls. By 1945, Japan's empire was crumbling. And Taiwan, its first colony, was now one of its last outposts. August 1945, the bombs fell. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Japan surrendered, and with it, its hold on Taiwan. After 50 years, the colonial chapter closed. No parades, no fireworks, just orders passed down, and a rising sun lowered. Taiwanese citizens, who had bowed to emperors, fought in imperial uniforms, studied in Japanese, were suddenly told, "You are Chinese now." The Republic of China arrived, bearing its own flags, its own language, its own demands. But the people of Taiwan were not the same. They had lived half a century in someone else's empire. And now, they were expected to begin again, as if nothing had changed, but everything had. 50 years of empire left their mark in language, in buildings, in memory. Some remember it as brutal. Others as a time of order. But no one left untouched. The Japanese era ended, not with a revolution, but with a telegram, and Taiwan was handed off once more, from one ruler to another. But if the island thought peace had returned, it would soon be mistaken. The next rulers did not come as colonizers. They came as fellow Chinese, as liberators. But the welcome would not last. Next time, White Terror, martial law, and the decades of silence that followed.